Yo dudes, what's up? This is Planet Keith, I'm Keith, and it's time for another weekly review vlog type thing, episode 3. So I accidentally spent last Sunday working. Believe me, I didn't want to do that. All I wanted to do was quickly rig up a teleprompter device because I wanted to try shooting last week's vlog using a script rather than rambling on as I normally do. So first of all, I had to write the script, and that took maybe an hour. But then I kept going back to it as new things occurred to me, and that was maybe another hour or two. So once that was done, I needed to get the file onto my iPad 2. And I have a teleprompter app on there already, and it can read text files, so you can input them directly on the iPad, which would take forever, so don't do that. You can email it and then copy and paste it into a file on the iPad. So the final alternative is Dropbox. I've got a Dropbox account, and I actually used it last week on a different device for the first time in a long time, and that required me to change the password. So I did. Of course, on the iPad I couldn't log into my account because I changed the password. I couldn't find anywhere on the iPad where I could change the Dropbox password. So I thought, no problem, I'll just delete the app, I'll go to the App Store and I'll find it and I'll reinstall it, and then, we go from there. So I found it in the App Store, tried to download it. Computer says no. Turns out the app isn't compatible with my iPad's operating system, which is 9.3.5. Not to worry, I'll upgrade it. Computer says no. Actually, computer says, can't upgrade this device any further, it's officially obsolete. iOS is now on version 12, but 9.3.5 was the last update that many iPads and iPhones could get. Anyway, I've had this iPad for over 10 years, and it's fine, and it'll keep on working for, I don't know, a long time. But I won't be able to get any more new apps unless they're old versions of that. And I couldn't find an old version of Dropbox. So, plan B, I'll email the file to my appleme.com account that I never ever use. And so I tried that. So when I fired it up, it says, oh, there's a new operating system. Do you want it? And like an idiot, I said, yeah. Yeah, gimme. So I started downloading that, and it took 5 hours to install. I don't know why or how it could possibly take that long, but it did. So that put the kibosh on that idea for the day, for last Sunday. Right, no worries, I can just print it out and read it, can't I? Because I got a new printer, which I mentioned in passing last week in the vlog, and in detail through the week. And then I enrolled it in the HP Instant Ink program, and immediately, the printer said it was locked, and I hadn't locked it, and I couldn't print anything, and I was thinking bad things about Hewlett-Packard, so that was all. So all of that was Sunday. What a day! But Monday, worse in many days. I don't normally have a lot to say about football. I am what they'd call a fair weather fan. I will watch big games, and I would say Liverpool FC is my team in England. In Spain, it was actually Barcelona, which you're not allowed to say if you're in Madrid. So it started happening on Sunday night when it was leaked that 6 of England's top Premier League teams were going to form a breakaway league with 3 teams from Spain, 2 or 3 from Italy, hopefully 2 or 3 from France, but they hadn't committed at that point. So 12 teams were named, and the breakaway league is called the English. The breakaway league is called the European Super League, and it is a terrible, terrible thing. So that started breaking on Sunday. By Monday, it was all over the place, and supporters were beyond fury, really, and probably normal people. I mean, I was really wound up by this, and the idea is that those 12 or 15 founding clubs in this league forever. They can't be promoted. Where would they go? They can't be demoted, because where would they go? Because now UEFA, the European Football Association, won't talk to them, and quite rightly too. You know, they'll be sanctioned. It was awful, and Tuesday it just got worse. But they were the ESL founding owners were due to have a Zoom meeting that evening, at which point it all fell apart. The vice chairman of Man United resigned, and he'd been a big player in this. And one by one, all the clubs pulled out and said they couldn't do it, or they wouldn't do it at this point, because they realised that the fans were upset. God, the fans were upset. The fans were upset, and quite rightly. They hadn't been consulted. You know, this new league would mean massively increased ticket prices again, and they were basically going to take all the television money and just divide it between themselves, the 15 plus 5 teams that they would invite each year to lessen the pain a bit or give a bit of variety. But oh my God, what a thing! You know, how can you play games to win, and effectively, if you're in this league, you can't lose because you can't be kicked out, right? You're just there forever, and that is not sport, and it's not interesting. So that started to fall apart on Tuesday with the English clubs. But actually, they need, you know, some proper punishment, and they need massive fines on the owners, not the clubs, and you know, some demotion and but withdrawal of points, like happened to Leeds at one point. So that was more than half the week with me just having my head in football, where it doesn't really belong. Friday. During lockdown, we've had a couple of walks with our yoga teacher, who's organised it for the group, or as many as are allowed or want to. So we had the first one. Yeah, we've only actually had 2. So first one was a few months ago. It was drizzly and rainy. Second one was Friday. It was beautiful sunshine. The same route, just along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. So I don't know what pops into your mind when somebody says, I went for a walk along Canal. Because, you know, 40 years ago, England's canals were kind of disused. Derelict, not entirely derelict, but in a bad way. They were really not loved. And you wouldn't really want to go for a walk alongside a canal then. But now, you know, they've really sorted it out. It's real brilliant leisure amenity for people on boats and for people on foot and for people on bike. But you'd be amazed how many cyclists don't have dinglings or don't know how to use them, because, you know, you're walking along, you can't hear them coming, and the next thing they've sort of whizzed past about 3 inches from your ear. And yeah, it's kind of scary, but there you go. So Saturday, as you know, gardening isn't my thing, but I do like a bit of lawn, and the head gardener has deemed that if I want it, I have to look after it. And remember, a lawn is for life, not just for Christmas. So I told you I mowed it last week, and while I was doing that, I thought, well, I decided that I wanted to reduce the borders and, you know, introduce more grass, make it more. So on Saturday, I cut a nice 3-inch wide border or channel between the footpath and the lawn, and filled it with stone chippings, which looks kind of smart. Also cut a square in the middle of the lawn to put this. We've got this concrete monolith, which is, I don't know, the base for a sundial or a bird bath or something. And I think I'm going to make something spectacular and arty-farty to go on that at some point. I keep thinking these things, but they don't. Well, sometimes they happen, not often. Anyway, so there's more to do on the lawn, but I'm Mrs. Planet is overjoyed that I'm actually taking an interest. You know, all the plants. I don't mind digging and you know, using the lawnmower, but I don't understand. I don't know about plants and growing things particularly, and my head's full. I've got no room for learning anything else. Anyway, so that was the week, and I bet you're dying to know what this is. It's a planter. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, Mrs. Planet got a balloon and some strips of newspaper and some glue and started doing papier-mâché around the balloon. And I didn't say anything. Eventually I'm like, what is it? She says, planter, plant pot. Okay. Big and weird shape. Yeah, she says. Anyway, it turns out, it turns into this absolutely mind-blowing, magnificent thing with a plant in his head. I love it, I love it. I really do. Because this represents, for Mrs. Planet, a massive leap, you know, from... she's always said she can't draw, she's not had a formal art education sort of thing. And yeah, so to get from a balloon, as you know, the former for the head, but then to put on the brow, the chin, the nose, the cheekbones, the hollows of the eyes, the eyeballs, the ears, the holes in the ears, all of that. Very complex stuff, and she's done it, and it's just absolutely magnificent. And then she's painted it in a very subtle way. And yeah, I adore it. I'm so thrilled that she's made this. So yeah, right. Okay. That was many words. That was last week. So thanks for watching, and well, maybe come back next week and other things will have happened.